What is up, boys? Ace Trainer X here, and I have a really awesome video for you today. It's going to be a vlog based on my very first Pokemon TCG pre-release event, and it was a pre-release for Paradox Rift. I'm going to be talking about the top 5 things that I learned at my first pre-release event, so maybe you don't have to, or maybe you should learn and just go anyway. But if you've never been to a pre-release event, y'all should go. It was an amazing time. It was super awesome. I had the privilege of visiting my favorite local game store, Gamers Grove. I'll put the link to their shop in the description, but I love Gamers Grove. They have a super helpful staff, an awesome play section, and just a ton of merchandise and stuff, and it doesn't feel like crammed and crowded like some local game stores. There's so much space in the store, and I absolutely love going there. So definitely check out their online shop in the description below. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but they're just like my favorite store, so I like supporting them. As you'll also notice, my background has been kind of shifting and changing. I have been gathering more Pokemon things and less Nightmare Before Christmas, even though I still like both of them. But it's kind of cool seeing my background grow every video with the more product I buy and the more money I spend. All the money, it's gone. All my money's, where did it go? It went to Pokemon. But something in my background is actually going to be in my next video, and you probably know what it is because it's kind of obvious, but I'll kind of show it off at the end of the video. So we're going to get into the top 5 things. Number 1 is going to be how Build and Battle, Pokemon TCG's pre-release, or I guess the only sealed format that they have, actually work. So pretty much what happens is you get a Build and Battle box. It was about $30 to enter the tournament, and in this box has a pre-made 40 card deck. I have some B-roll footage that I'm probably showing right now with me building that deck, but pretty much this 40 card deck comes smashed together with 2 different kind of pre-built types of Pokemon. Me personally, I ended up with the Psychic Steel type, but everyone kind of seemed to be all over the place. I noticed online after this that a lot of people talk about the Build and Battle meta and how it was like psychic or it was water or whatever, but I just kind of was playing for fun. I really wasn't worrying about the meta. Together with your 40 card precon, you receive 4 booster packs. And with those 4 booster packs, you kind of smash them and mash them together until you have a playable 40 card deck. So that was my first thing I kind of learned. I didn't really know what to expect at all from this event. I tried to not look up anything about the format because I like being surprised and I like learning things on my own. So I was kind of surprised, which was pretty cool, and I had a lot of fun. The second thing I learned was actually when I was going through my booster packs, and I realized that even if I couldn't find a Psychic or Steel or Metal Pokemon, that I really should be looking at the abilities of all of the cards, because you can have some really good bench warmers in there. I think the number 1 bench warmer that I really saw was Iron Bundle, because it kind of had like a on-demand bosses orders, but in a limited format that actually seemed really good. But yeah, bench warmers. I don't actually know if that's what they're called, but that's what I've been calling them, because those are Pokemon you play on the bench just really for their abilities. So it'd be something like, the Manaphy's, or even now in this set, the Jirachis, stuff like that. The third thing I learned was that even if a Pokemon does not have the same type as the Pokemon in your precon, that you really should just be looking for ones that have colorless attacks. I noticed this specifically with, I think, Crobat, because Crobat, while it's a fighting type in the TCG, all of its attacks were colorless. So I actually kind of posited or kind of thought about including that card in my precon, but at the end of the day, I didn't think it was good enough. But the one thing I did notice is that any colorless Pokemon you pull are almost pretty much freebies, right? Because they're colorless Pokemon and you can use any energy to use their attacks. So I actually got out my boy Cyclozar because it seemed like a really cool Pokemon to include in a limited event, because my precon actually had a ton of supporters in it, and its second attack actually had to do with supporters. So things like that, I really didn't, going into this event, I didn't even think about that. But as I was opening my booster packs, I realized, oh man, I need to be looking for these combos. I need to be looking for this synergy, especially in a sealed event. The fourth thing that I learned is, wow, man, I absolutely love when you pull a Poketool, an item, or a trainer, or any of the trainer cards, right? I love it when you pull those in a pack because they're almost always playable. And I say almost always, but in a sealed format, you can pretty much play them. You can just whip them into your deck and play them as they are. This is kind of in contrast to like draft in Magic or a sealed event in Magic, where if you get a really cool blue instant or sorcery, you might not have enough blue cards to play a blue deck, so it kind of feels bad. But the inclusion of just having all those item cards playable by anything really limits those feels bad moments of pulling like a super awesome trainer card. So I was really excited when I was pulling those trainer cards because I was like, oh man, I definitely know that I can at least look at playing that card and it won't just be immediately excluded from my deck. So I actually really loved that aspect of the build and battle format. Last but not least is number 5, and this one kind of hit me when I was playing an actual game against someone at the shop, is that if you can have a basic or even a stage 1 Pokemon EX, the Pokemon EX power level is significantly higher than any other card in a sealed format or just in the constructed format as well. But I did have this really awesome moment where my Cyclizar, being the good boy that he is, actually was able to KO a Toxicity EX Pokemon, and that was a really good moment for me because that actually won me the entire match. So I was really appreciative that I was able to use a basic Pokemon to knock out an EX, but had his EX gone off appropriately, I don't even know what I would have been able to do with all the basic non-EX or non-rule box Pokemon. So the bridge between EX or V-Star and regular Pokemon cards is insane, especially in a sealed format. If you can play an EX Pokemon in a sealed event, in a build and battle event, then you definitely want to get that into your deck because those power levels are just staggeringly different. Is this considered juggling even though I'm just doing it with 2 of them? Okay guys, that's all I had for you today. Just a really short video. Big shout out to Gamers Grove, link in the description, for hosting Paradox Rift. It was super fun. I had a ton of fun. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, do all the doohickeys, do everything you can possibly. I'm over 60 subscribers, so we did it. Yeah, we did it. Anyway, y'all take care and have some good pulls. I'll catch you next time.